Today I'm just going to talk more a little about the Proliner bunker installation here that we've got going at the golf club. As you can see, basically we're shelling out the surrounds and also the bases with the excavator and taking all that waste away. We will use that around the golf course for future projects, so we'll stockpile this stuff over by the right hand side of the fifth hole, just along our tip and waste area. The old bunkers were built probably early in the 50s, 60s and throughout the 70s. And what we're trying to achieve here now is remove some of that old clay and silt, and the way they used to build the bunkers was a lot different. So we get the excavator in, we go around the edges, and you can see here we've got the sides all chopped out. The excavator comes in and he just removes the waste and gets the new shapes and takes away all the old sand and clip. Once that's done, we go around the outside and just chisel in the new edges and do the final trims. And you can see the excavator just pulling back the walls there now and getting the final trims ready so we can get the drainage lines in. Just working his way around the perimeter. Once we get the batter right, if you like the fall from the top to the bottom, getting the footings and foundations as clean as we possibly can is vitally important. We just want to stop that contamination coming into the new drainage lines once they're installed. We're working on holes 5, and you can see here the right hand side of the bunker on the 6th hole. Both of those were giving us some grief. And you can see Trevor there in the truck just taking that waste away. You can see here the old drainage lines, very antiquated, didn't work really well, down to a brick pit, and it's the way they used to do things, and that was fine back in the day. Unfortunately, over a period of time they've all blocked up with silt and rubbish that have come through, and we've got some new techniques now that we build these bunkers with. The drainage line you can see there, it's a 300mm wide flat plastic pipe that we lay in the base of the bunkers, and then we have our discharge lines connected to it. So when it does rain and the water does get down to the base of these bunkers, you can see clearly the water just collects in the bottom, makes its way out of the bunker and over to the waste ponds to the left hand side of the 5th green. We've got a liquid bitumen emulsion, and what we like to do here, and you can see in the footage, we go around the edges and we work our way right over the base of the bunker. It provides a sealant and seals up the base, the footings, the foundations, the faces, and everywhere else we don't want that exposed silt and fine sands to make its way into the new drainage lines. It's not an asphalt, it's just the liquid. It sets very hard, and in future rain events it just stops any of the silts and the fine clays making its way out of the wall and into the drainage line. Once that's done, we place a 20mm gravel. Now that gravel you can see being placed in the bunker here and moved around with the excavator is something to 80 to 100mm thick. We get it all level, and it wanders away through the middle of the bunker up onto the faces, and it just provides that drainage layer that we need to get the water to move into that drainage line when it rains. The hot mix comes in. You can see here that the excavator is taking the asphalt. Now this is the open grade hot mix of asphalt, so that's the liquid emulsion combined with the gravel. It gets put out at 200 degrees. It sits in the basin there, and the boys with their rakes just move that into position, shaping it, getting it level. And you can see here, just pulling the gravel and the hot mix along together, and that finally gives us our trim, and the water then makes its way into the asphalt, into the gravel and into those lay-fat drains that you saw in the early footage. The whole process took a week to do. That's the 3 bunkers on the 5th hole and the one on the right-hand side of the 6th. Looking from the top back down, you can see the areas are quite large, so there was a substantial amount of asphalt that had to be placed in the base of these bunkers. But you can see from that angle that there's no more exposed gravel, lime, silt, clay that can make its way into those drainage lines. So these will last a very, very long time and handle all the rain events that we've been getting lately. Once the hot mix is in the base, you can see here we walk around with little hand rollers. They're very heavy, and that just pushes down the sides, and then the bases all get done with a whacker packer, and that just locks everything in nice and tight. Once it's cool, all we need to do is place the sand in the bottom. The trucks arrive from Bribie Island. The Southern Pacific Sands plant is up near the island itself, and the sand that we put in the base is a 20-80 blend, 20% loam and 80% sand. That meets the USGA standards and also fits the engineering for the bunker reconstruction. Once that's in, we pack it down, rake the bases, We've done the 5th hole now, we've done the 6th, and just make our way around the rest of the bunkers that give us the grief that we've been dealing with. I hope that explains it a little more clearly, and any questions, please come see me. As you can see with this week's rain, it drains really well. No more washouts. The amount of time it takes to repair those bunkers now is non-existent compared to 4 or 5 guys over a week. You can imagine the costs involved with that.